Welcome everyone to the part 3 of Outliers. In this video, we will see how to handle outliers. So, using IQR to drop the outliers is one of the most common techniques. In this technique, we first of all detect outliers and their index values, and then we drop from the original dataset. We use shape function to see how many outliers we have deleted. So let's implement. So first of all, I will open Jupyter Notebook. From here, I will open the folder of outliers. Now let's create a new notebook. I will rename the notebook as Outliers Part 3. Let's create a markdown for importing libraries. Now, I will import the required libraries, such as import numpy as np, import pandas as pd, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, import seaborn as SNS. Now I will run it. Here I will create another markdown for reading CSV file. I will say cars equals to pd.read CSV, and the file name is data.csv, which is actually a comma separated file. All right, cars.head. Now it's time to clean some data. So I will say data cleaning. First of all, I will drop all of the no values from the dataset by saying cars equals to cars dot drop any. Then I will say cars dot columns equals to cars dot columns dot str dot lower. So here I have converted all of the column names into lowercase, and then I will say that replace the spaces between column names with an underscore. Let's run it. Now here I will say cars.head to verify the changes. It looks good to go. All right. Now here I will create another markdown, and I will say using IQR technique for deleting outliers. Okay. So first of all, I will create a new function with the name of remove outliers. And then, first of all, I will save the shape of cars dataset, because I have to compare the shape of cars dataset after removing the outliers so that I can find the number of outliers I have deleted. So here I will create a new loop. I will say for column in cars dot select D types. I will say that select all of the columns which are numerical dot columns. And first of all, the first process is to find the first quartile, which is cars column, and find the first quartile of the current column. Now, I will find similarly the third quartile. I will say Q3 equals to cars column dot quantile 0.75. Now, I will calculate IQR by subtracting Q1 from Q3. The next thing to find out is the lower bound, which is actually Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. And similarly, upper bound is all of the values which are above the Q3 1.5 times IQR. Now, I will store all of the values in main index variable which are lower than the lower bound. So I will say cars column lower than lower bound dot index. And similarly, I will say maximum index equals to cars column, and all of the values that are greater than the upper bound, save them to max index. Now it's time to draw these values from the cars dataset. So cars.drop min index, and I will place in place as true. Similarly, I will drop all of the values that are stored in max index and in place equals to true. So after dropping these values from the cars dataset, I will see or store the shape into S2 variable. Now to find outliers, I will say outliers equals to S1 minus S2, and then I will return outliers. So this will return all of the number of outliers that are in my dataset. So I will say print number of deleted outliers from my cars dataset are, and here I will call the function remove outliers and print it. As you can see that the number of outliers deleted from my dataset using the technique of IQR are 2,264. Now let's move back to slides. So this is the end of this outline. We have seen the most common method for detecting and deleting the outliers. Here is your homework. I have placed the link of dataset here, and you have a few tasks to do. First of all, you have to detect outliers using the technique of IQR. Then you have to remove outliers using IQR. But remember that this technique is valid to only the pure numerical columns. Now good luck, see you next time.